Namaskar. Today it's June 8th, 2026. Welcome to day 87 of Satvik Yogi Path. Each year on March 14 begins my 100 days journey in returning to the essence of yoga towards the celebration of International Day of Yoga on June 21st. This year, I chose to revisit Maharshi Patanjali's Yoga Sūtra and share my daily practices inspired by it. Today, we practice Yoga Sūtra 2.36 or the 36th Yoga Sūtra from the second chapter, Sadhana Pad. Once again, welcome to 87th day of Satvik Yogi Path. Yoga Sūtra 2.36 Satya Pratisthayam Kriya Phalashrayatvam. When one is firmly established in truthfulness, their words gain the power to manifest. Yesterday, in day 86, we learned the fruit of Ahimsa, the fruit of non-violence. Today, Maharshi Patanjali reveals the fruit of Satya, truthfulness. This sutra teaches a profound principle. When your inner life is aligned with truth, your words naturally align with reality. Once again, let's recite Yoga Sūtra 36th from the second chapter, Sadhana Pad. Satya Pratisthayam Kriya Phalashrayatvam. Let's do it again. This is Yoga Sūtra 2.36. Satya Pratisthayam Kriya Phalashrayatvam. When one is firmly established in truthfulness, their words gain the power to manifest. Let us break it word by word to better understand the meaning of Yoga Sūtra 2.36. Satya Pratisthayam. When truthfulness is firmly established. That's the English. For the Sanskrit, Satya Pratisthayam. When truthfulness is firmly established. Kriya Phala Ashrayavatam. Ashrayatvam. Kriya Phala Ashrayatvam. Which means actions. Kriya is action. Actions and their results rest upon your words. When truth becomes your foundation, your words gain power and reliability. So this sutra is not about supernatural powers. It is about alignment. When you live in truth, your words are clean, your intentions are pure, your actions match your speech, Your inner and outer life are consistent when you live in truth. Super Freak 214, I'll quickly give a shout out to you. Thank you so much for joining. And yes, good night to you as well. Thank you for joining. So, when you live in truth, Satya, your words are clean. The words that come out of your mouth are clean. Your intentions are pure. Your actions match your speech. Your inner and outer life are consistent. Because of this alignment, people trust your words. Your speech carries weight. Your commitment holds power. Your intentions manifest clearly. And this is the heart of Satya, truthfulness, which is the from the the ethical foundations of the first limb of yoga, Aṣṭāṅga Yoga, yam. Satya is the second ethical foundation. Now imagine a compass. Imagine a compass. We'll try to understand the sutra a little more. So imagine a compass. If the compass needle is steady and true, you can trust it to guide you. If the needle shakes, you cannot rely on it. A person established in Satya, truthfulness, is like a steady compass. Their words point to reality. Their speech becomes trustworthy. Their presence becomes reliable. Isn't it? Truth gives power to speech. Falsehood drains it. When your words come from truth, they carry the strength of reality. So we have, what do we have here? I have mentioned here, this is the pinned comment, day 87, when truth becomes your foundation, your words gain power, they align with reality. So what are we practicing today? We practice stillness, Yoga Sūtra 2.36, in 4 steps. Our first step, how do we practice truthfulness? How do we practice Satya? So to practice Yoga Sūtra 2.36, we have to name the sutra intention. Today, we are practicing Yoga Sūtra 2.36. Let me quickly give a shout out to Super Freak 214. I once had an anxiety attack that made me go to the hospital. I was overwhelmed with school commitments, and at one point, I kept thinking about it so much. Yes, that's true. It does happen. It has happened to me. It has happened to many of my students as well. it has happened to many. I have I have spoken to, but the but I want to tell you that it is, of course, it is the we keep thinking about it, right? And I started having flood of thoughts. At that moment, I realized that the thoughts weren't really mine. Each time a different thought appeared. Yes, Super Freak 214. Yesterday, we we did a practice, which we will do it again. The practice is how to, in the stillness practice, how we, every time our mind likes to keep itself busy with thoughts. So as soon as you are sitting down to calm your mind, all these thoughts, your mind starts to get bombarded with thoughts. And the trick is to, like you believed, that is your clarity, that you realized that the thoughts are not really yours. And that is exactly the trick, that don't fight the thoughts, because the thoughts will keep coming. One thought comes, let it go. Another comes, let it go. You are not chasing your thought. You're not following your thought. You are not judging your thought, and you are not becoming your thought. But what do I do? Because I have all these thoughts, then the best thing to do is immediately bring your focus to your navel and your breath. And there you will have a moment of nothingness. Again, you try to calm yourself down. You try to steady your body, your breath. And as you continue doing it, because you're not judging your thoughts, you are not chasing your thoughts, you're not following your thoughts, not even becoming your thoughts. So it is exactly like you're sitting by the lake and watching the calm water, and suddenly, out of nowhere, a leaf falls, or a stone, a pelt, is that disturbs the calm water. And you see the ripples forming, one after the other, the ripple forming, and ultimately the water becomes clear again. So every time that happens, you are bringing your focus back to your breath, and slowly you will experience the nothingness, which also means the mind slowly, gradually, and eventually becomes clear. Also, at the same time, because you're focusing on your breath rising from your belly and falling gently on your navel. So it is right from the navel and falling back to the navel. So when you focus on your breath is when your mind starts to get clear. And the thoughts, when you practice this on a consistently basis, regular basis, that every time you feel distracted, you just bring all your focus back to your breath, back to your navel. That's why when you sit, I would do it this way. I would gently place one hand gently over the navel, nabhi. And then slowly, as you breathe in, breathe out. Now, all your focus is you're slowing down with your exhalation, and all your focus is there, and slowly the cloud of thoughts start to diminish, and you see your mind is now your mind can see clarity. So I believe that is exactly what was happening with your practice, that it's so good that you wrote that you started having a flood of thoughts. At at that moment you realize that the thoughts weren't really mine, yours. Each time a different thought appeared. Exactly. Because the mind just likes to keep itself busy with something or the other. So the more we fight, the more we chase, the more we follow, judge, ultimately we tend to become that thought. But that thought is just a thought. Very well written. I thank you for that. That is wonderful. Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, you had asked, are you still reading? Have you decided on which book to read, whether Swami Vivekananda or Yoganand Paramahams? Have you already made up your mind? And to just give a little bit of recommendation from my side, I have posted it on the Satvik Yogi community. Especially wanted to acknowledge your question, and I have shared my recommendation. So if you have time, you could just quickly check, and that would be great. Let me know what you have decided. Yeah. So, name our step one in stillness practice is we name the sutra intention. Now, what is Yoga Sūtra 2.6 36? Intention is the we 2.36, the 36th Yoga Sutra from the second chapter Sadhana Pad, which is that when the truth is steady, our words gain power to manifest. That's exactly what happens when the truth is steady. So so the power of truthful speech, the power of truthful speech. And then once we have named the intention, we bring one real moment to our mind. So think of one moment from today where your thoughts, your words, your intentions were not fully aligned, were not fully aligned. And then you apply the sutra in silence. You would ask yourself gently, what would truth look like? Just a gentle, not forcing the answer. Just ask, what would truth look like? And then you sit with the alignment for a few breaths. And breath, you place one hand gently over your navel, back and spine straight. Remember to sit on your sitting bones, not your tailbone. Back and spine straight. Roll your shoulder if you have to. And looking at a point at the eye level. And most importantly, with your smile. So your smile must be there. And then you would sit with the feeling of alignment. The task is that you're bringing to mind one moment from today when your words or thoughts or intentions were not aligned. And that's when you ask, what would truth look like? And then you take a few breaths with that feeling of alignment. And that's why in Satvik Yogi Path, your smile is so important. And then once you take few breaths with the feeling of alignment, you seal it with Om. And for Om, let's do it 3 in 3. Om, the that rises from the belly. Oh, that moves through the chest. And softens at your lips. So let us take 3 Om chants. Are you ready? Let's do it. Few shallow breaths. And now we take a deep breath in, and with exhalation, we chant Om. Slow, and let the pause appear naturally, and then the next Om. So we do it 3 times. Let's do it. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in. And the last, take a deep breath in. And just stay like that. That is sealing the feeling of alignment with jap, Om. And now comes the final bhavna, because jap, it is not complete until you have you're contemplating the meaning, bhavna, with bhavna. And your bhavna is, let my words come from truth. Let my words come from truth. So you contemplate on truthfulness. Well, that concludes our stillness practice. So, like every day, I have a challenge, and day 87 challenge for you is, are you ready to take it? Speak one sentence today. It's easy, right? Speak one sentence today that comes from complete truth and clarity. How easy is that? Speak one sentence today that comes from complete truth and clarity. That is day 87 challenge. If you're ready to accept the challenge, write in the comment box, because I accept the challenge. Day 87 teaches us that truth is not only a value, it is a power. Indeed, when Satya, truthfulness, Satya is the Sanskrit word for truth. So when Satya becomes steady, your words gain strength, clarity, and impact. Tomorrow we meet again. Yoga Sūtra 2.37 on day 88. And it is about the fruit of Aṣṭāṅga. Aṣṭāṅga is non-stealing, honesty. So the fruit of Aṣṭāṅga, how non-stealing leads to abundance. That is our day 88 in Yoga Sūtra 37th. You showing up every day, and this steadiness is real journey, I tell you. We meet again tomorrow. Until then, stay warm, stay open, and most importantly, stay honest to your own story. I thank you for your presence with me today.